In today's video, we're going to be discussing Neville Goddard's imagination principle of fertilizing the idea in your mind through imagination. And this idea really resonated with me when I listened to one of his recent lectures. So I really want to dive deep into it, explain to you the theory behind it and the mechanics behind it. And then also towards the end of the video, I'm going to give you 4 really actionable steps that you can just apply to your life right now to start practicing this right away, okay? The idea of fertilizing the idea within your mind, the reality that you want, that's what we're calling the idea, through imagination. So Neville said that anything that you are flowing your attention to, anything that you're imagining on a day-to-day basis, is what you are fertilizing. It is the seed which you are fertilizing, which will then flow into physical manifestation. Here, we have a great power, but we also have a great responsibility. Because right now, right, like if you look out at the world, look at how everybody's living and look at how you yourself maybe live right now or used to live before actually becoming more aware. We live completely unconsciously where our entire imagination process, the way we think, what we believe, what we expect from reality is completely done on autopilot. And it's in an unconscious level. So you go about imagining worst case scenarios throughout the day. You go day to day just like thinking and dwelling in negative realities within your imagination. And those are the realities you begin to flow your attention to. And that is what you begin to fertilize, and that is what begins to manifest more and more. That's why like a lot of people who live unconsciously, and I myself included, when I back in the day lived super unconsciously, my life got into such a contracted like state where I was suffering a lot. Like I was creating a lack of well-being in every area of my life, health, finances, everything. So if you live unconsciously and if all your mental processes are just being done on automatic, then you will truly fertilize those negative realities that you don't want to experience, and you will manifest those. Because see, the subconscious is very indifferent. It will simply show you more of what you want, meaning more of what you are focusing on. Not necessarily what you desire, but more of what you are focusing on, what it is accepting. It's simply accepting what you are fertilizing within your imagination. So in order to actually start creating the life that we do want and have our imagination come to our aid, we have to become responsible. And we have to take responsibility for our mental processes and how we live on a day-to-day basis, on a moment-to-moment basis. And so for this, you need awareness. You need the ability to train your attention and keep it on what you want in life. Because once you start flowing attention to the areas of your imagination, the realities within your imagination that you do want manifesting, they too will manifest just as well as your current realities manifesting right now on a day-to-day basis. I always say to my coaching clients, and really sometimes on YouTube as well, that anywhere that you focus your attention towards, you are watering that area of your life. So if you're constantly focusing on, man, like I don't like this pain, I need this pain to go away, I hate this pain, but your focus is always going towards the pain, you are watering the pain and the pain will grow. That's why oftentimes like what you fear, you're constantly focusing on what you fear and then it manifests. Why? Because you're constantly watering it with your attention, with your imagination. You're fertilizing that seed. Because anything is possible, right? The bad and the good. But what you fertilize flows in, as Neville says. So you have to train your attention in a way where you are able to flow your attention towards what you do want. This is a responsibility that you have if you want to live a conscious life, if you want to create your reality consciously. So if you want to do this, you have to now make all your mental processes conscious. You have to intentionally flow focus and attention towards the realities that are in your imagination that you do want to live out in physical reality. And you don't just think of them, but you dwell in them. as Neville said. And you don't just dwell in them, but you think from them, and you live your life from the state which you have imagined. So the way I like to do this is when I visualize, I constantly visualize myself already being the person that I want to be. So let's say I want to build a character trait. I want to be more confident, feel more secure about myself. I want to be more social, when I do go out, and I want to be better at socializing. Let's say that's my goal. I visualize myself already being that person, not me building those qualities. Instead, I imagine myself already having those qualities and being amazing at those qualities. And now let's say I'm at a party talking to someone and I'm like killing it, and I'm just not just in a fake way, but it's all coming naturally and this person's really responding well to me. Or if your goal is you having your own business, don't visualize yourself only just like building the business, but instead already having a successful business and doing what you love every single day. And start to dwell in that, because once you use your concentration and flow your focus in that reality, you'll realize that it's not hard to keep your attention there. It's all practice. And once you're focusing in that reality, automatically you start to access the state of mind, the perspective of the version of you that is living that reality. And sooner or later, not even sooner or later, instantly, that state, if you dwell in it enough, that state starts to carry over into your actual mind and body, and in physical reality. And you start to live through that perspective by consciously realigning to it. So this is one of the really key things where it's like, yes, you visualize maybe for 15 minutes or something like that, and then you start living your day. If you just live unconsciously again, then it's not really going to do you too good. You have to live from that perspective as much as you can. And I know this is difficult. That's why it requires awareness. It's not effort, right? It's awareness. And you go about your day, and I constantly do this where I catch myself where I'm like, oh man, I fell into a perspective of like neediness or lack or chasing outcome. So I I drop whatever I'm doing, and I just take a few moments to myself where I relax all my muscles, right? All my entire body. And then I just, again, realign to my desired reality within my imagination. And I start to water it again. And I start flowing focus towards it. And then I live my day. Then I just carry on whatever I'm doing in that state through that perspective. And I want you to know that flowing focus towards your desired reality doesn't just mean visualizing it. You can focus on something in so many ways, right? If you want to focus on being abundant and living life in an abundant way, don't just necessarily visualize yourself being abundant, but instead act like a person who is abundant. So flowing focus towards it could be so many things, like you taking action like a person who has the abundant mentality. You buying things that a person with an abundant mentality has. Not putting yourself in debt over it and not like overdoing it, but in whatever capacity that you can. Maybe just buying even like your lunch, but not feeling like you're losing a part of yourself because that was your old self, right? But rather like you're coming from this abundant approach where you're affirming, yes, I'm grateful that I have enough money to pay for my lunch and more, right? So it's like a complete shift in mindset. You're not just visualizing it, but you're focusing attention towards the abundant mindset that you're trying to build in many different ways. Through visualization, through action, through behavior, through demeanor, through energy, through thoughts. In any way that you can, get really creative with it. Why not have fun with it? Like I always say, the more lighthearted you could be about this process and the more fun you can have with this, the more you will benefit, the more you will manifest. And on top of that, the more fun you will have. So it's like a thing that just loops into each other. The more fun you will have, the more fun you will have. But you have to consciously do it. You have to put these practices into motion consciously. So now let's talk about that. What are the 4 steps that you can implement right now to start living through this principle and start bringing your imagination into physical reality? Number 1 is you have to become conscious of what you are imagining on a day-to-day basis right now. So take inventory for the next couple of days, or at least today, of where does your mind naturally divert towards? What are your mental conversations like when you're not necessarily monitoring them and trying to think differently with effort? You have to become aware of what you are imagining right now, because that will help you make sense of what you are experiencing right now. And it will help you make sense of what you are believing to be true on a default level. So once you are aware of, okay, these are my beliefs and this is what I'm like imagining on a day-to-day basis, these are the mental conversations that I'm having, these are the expectations that I have of reality. You know, if you go about life expecting the same thing every single day, expecting that like, oh yeah, miracles don't happen to me, good things don't happen to me, well, those are your expectations. That's what's going to happen to you now. You're going to experience a lack of well-being, experience a lack of miracles. So get really clear on the mental conversations that you're having on a day-to-day basis. Now, second, make these processes conscious. Stop sleeping on them. Stop sleeping throughout your day. Wake up and make these processes conscious. And start by actually crafting your ideal self and ideal life. So something that I have my coaching clients go through right away is crafting their ideal self and ideal life. And by the way, I do have an announcement regarding my coaching program at the end of the video, so make sure to stay for that. But I help them like get so clear about who they want to become and what this person is like, and the life that version of themselves is living. Get so vividly clear on what that looks like, because until you have a vague vision, you will always get vague results. But when you have clarity and you're moving towards that with full intention and putting it in motion, then you will manifest it. So get very clear about what that version of you looks like. Write it down, right? Print pictures out of the things that resonate with your vision of yourself and the life that you want to live. Print these out and put them on your wall. Vision board is not just like a law of attraction stupid technique. No, it is real. Put these out and keep these in front of you all the time. This helps you connect with your imagination again and again. Puts your attention. This is also you flowing focus towards your desired reality. And read the things that you wrote every single day about your ideal self, and connect with those words. Imagine those words as you're reading them. And this will help you flow your focus towards that ideal self. And you will that's you dwelling in it, which will help you live from the perspective of it. Now, 3, you have to start connecting with this imagination more and more. So last step I said dwell in it, right? The more you imagine it, and the more you start to, experience you turning into this person, the more you realize that who you really are is not really the person at all, right? If you yourself are witnessing a version of you that was different, and then you turning into a different version, you realize that you are actually the detached consciousness. You are the infinite imagination within which all these different versions of you exist, and you can pick and choose which version you want to play out in physical reality. And so, see, imagination has so many benefits, and this is one of them, right? Usually when we just imagine, we're just trying to manifest things, but this actually dwelling in your imagination and manifesting again and again what you want will help you realize that you are the consciousness within which this entire theater play is going on. And you have the freedom to choose the different versions of you. All these different versions of you, exist within the sphere of consciousness, which you are. And so not only it gives you a greater sense of self, but it helps you manifest faster. But truly, the greater sense of self is the freedom that you're seeking, is that I am not neither this or that. Yes, I'm not neither the successful version of myself or the really failure version of myself. I'm actually beyond. And this is where the true power lies. This is what it means to create your reality from a higher consciousness mindset. I know you hear me say that all the time, but that's what it means. And that's what imagination will help you to realize overall. Now, lastly, number 4, live through this perspective as much as you can in whatever capacity that you can. Okay? Don't put yourself at like in weird situations by doing this. I'm not, obviously use your discretion, but live like that version of you that already has what he or she wants. Treat the situations in your current life that are coming up like the version of you that already has what she or she wants would treat them. Embody the character traits like your ideal self. Behave with others in a way that your ideal self would behave. Believe the things that your ideal self would believe about yourself, about reality. And truly just, that's your way of focusing and fertilizing your imagination, which will then flow into physical reality little by little. It's a seamless process that is just hand in hand. Imagination, action through perspective, through the right perspective. So it's a beautiful process. And overall, you want to know that ultimately you are neither this or that. You are beyond. You are the consciousness within which this entire play is unfolding. And you can create anything within this play. So I do want to mention that October enrollment for the Accelerated Reality program is now open. So if you want to create the life that you truly want to live from that higher consciousness mindset, where you tap deep within and get that connection with your higher self, and you start letting go of all the limiting beliefs and philosophies and actually start bringing your imagination into physical reality step by step through a systemized process, schedule a free consultation with me below in which I teach you this entire process of bringing your imagination into the physical. Let's do this. Stop waiting, start creating. Link is down below. But other than that, give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, if you gained value from it. Let me know in the comment section below what you loved about it. Subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in the next video.